dressed as the Aaliyah, that was wearing jerseys, and I thought she was like a cute young girl. I didn't pay too much attention to her in that way. And but where I really met her was we both had the same business money managers. Barry Clarberg, who ended up robbing me, but yeah, bastard. But she was in the conference room, and I didn't even recognize her as Aaliyah. I just was like, "Who's that?" And then I actually went into I think I probably rushed the meeting and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And we got cool. And that was our first real interaction where I looked at her like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And how soon after that did you all, get closer and become friends?
Well, what happened was, I didn't know it, but I guess she had been kicking it with Jay. And, we got cool, but while we were talking, she was like, "What's up with Jay?" So I knew what that meant. And, I was like, oh, so I wasn't really thinking about it too much. But my friend Natani brought me to and when I say kicking it, I'm saying they were talking. It wasn't nothing happening. He was courting, kicking it. Natani brought me to this photo shoot in LA, and it was called the It Girls. It was Aaliyah, Natani, Padata, Bijou, and we all got cool this day. And we were talking about things about your soul and the evolution of your soul. And, after the photo shoot, we actually went to the mall and we all brought these books, The Seed of the Soul, because Padata had told us about it. And then when we read them, it was like our conversation was definitely highly enlightened and angelic, like you would want them to be. And that was where our connection came. We all were part of the same soul cluster. And, and again, we would talk, we got real cool. And, Natani convinced her to come to the Hamptons. And me and homie were there, and, I just was on fire that week. And we ended up really having so much fun that we didn't want the fun to stop. So the intention really wasn't to be in love,
Yeah.
But you fall in love. It's not something you do on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And did you ever make it to Detroit with her? Was that a thing that happened? No.
We didn't have that much time. Aaliyah and us, it was that first month was really intense. But both of us was at the height of that kind of career where you had to run anytime, an opportunity presented itself. So she was making movies, and she had to go and make this movie for 4 months or 4 to 6 months. And, I was making paid in full, so I couldn't leave. And, I didn't see her for 4 or 6 months. Then she'd come back. We would hang out for a week, heavy.
Right.
Then she'd have to go and fly to LA to go do, dance rehearsals for a video. And, she always had, and I always had, I had a very big company that I was running. So it was like we were trying to find the time, because that's what we always wanted to do, was just be alone. We never really was trying to hang out outside and get our picture taken. We just wanted to kick it with each other because we genuinely enjoyed each other's company. And, we were if we could ever get 4, 5, 6 months together, then we'll know if we're really, because it was just always brand new, because we never got to have consistent time together. It was more on the phone every day, all day, the BlackBerry all day, that kind of thing.
For sure. And would you say that people in the industry knew of her as a Detroiter or identified her in that way? Right?
Sometimes. He was a real Aaliyah fan, but not really.
Yeah. And do you think that she got her flowers while she was here?
I think for my personal, she was getting her flowers, but she didn't get to enjoy her flowers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was just, she was just again, it was like the first kind of time that she had found this kind of peace and happiness, and the same thing for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you have a dream, but sometimes you don't get to live it. So she went through a lot of things to get to that frame of mind, and once she got there, like she was highly enlightened. And it was like the minute she got to that point where she could have that peace and have that love, she got taken off the planet.
Right.
So like for me, I was able to learn how to love from her, to how to recognize it. And I knew that unless I had that feeling again, that it wasn't love. And I haven't had that feeling again since then until I met like Raquel. And that's when I was able to recognize I was in love. I was like, oh, it's the same shit I was feeling with homegirl. And then I knew how to enjoy her. I know how to enjoy her. You know, like all the things that I probably would have done with Aaliyah, you know, and when she had time, I really get to do with Raquel. You know what I mean? I really know how to enjoy a relationship. When you lose a good relationship, like a real perfect one, when another one presents itself, you really know how to marinate that relationship and how to enjoy it. You know, sometimes you almost have to go through some bad so that you could really understand how good things are. You know, like honestly, I was actually able to appreciate every second with Aliyah. We marinated every moment. You know what I mean? And knowing how to be happy is important. Like some people's normal is arguing. Like if you argue 3 or 4 times a day or with the person you love the most, that's normal. That wasn't, we never argued. Our normal was not to argue. If we argued, that would have been something devastating. It would have been like something brand new to us. You know what I mean? So our normal is happiness, and a red flag is when there's just a tinge of unhappiness. And that's how I conduct my life now. Like I've been able to find my woman and know how to love her every day, all day long, and keep her with me every day, all day long, and all of that comes with it. To me, if you got a girl and you don't want to be with her every day, all day, then that's not really your girl. You're with her for the wrong reasons. You know, you got to be with your best friend. And that's what Aliyah was to me. She was like my homie. And when she would come around any one of my friends that I trusted, they all understood it completely. Like, she like one of us. She like to laugh. She's smart. You know, she don't take shit too serious. You know, she just knew how to love and live. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. She also knew how to, like, forgive, or not to say forgive, but let's not deal with that right now. We'll deal with that later. You know, that type of thing. She used to be on that. So she was also a real G about the way she approached things based on all the pain she felt prior to that.
Right. That's beautiful. That's a great gift. I feel like it doesn't always work that way. And I'm curious because I feel like people in my generation, some people in my generation, they don't hear Aaliyah straight from her mouth. Like it's a rap feature or a sample. How do you feel when she's referenced through song or through style in contemporary culture?
Well, you know, it's crazy because what I do know and I can confirm is the only currency that can transcend all dimensions is love. Because she still talks to me. I still feel her. And I'm saying that because if, let's say, there's some sort of validation that I need, or if even we're bringing up love or Aliyah, all of a sudden I'll hear her name in the radio. Like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And I know that's not a coincidence. It's a direct message. Like, you know, I knew Rocky was the one because we was outside one day, and all of a sudden a bunch of white butterflies just flew all over Rocky like she was a wizard, like a you know, like a good, you know, like Tinkerbell or something like that. You know what I mean? It was just, you know, and it was crazy because I mean I have pictures of it. You know, it was crazy. And later on, I was talking to you know, someone that does that. You know, where they talk, and it was just because someone wanted me to talk to them about a show. And she didn't really know who she was talking to. And she was like, you got this girl. She talked you through the butterflies, the lightning. She knew everything that happened, you know, and gave Rocky the thumbs up. Like, even to the extent that if Rocky in the beginning was trying to understand me, she would actually reference my experiences with Aaliyah. You know, that was like, you know, like it's like Aaliyah would help her to make sure she understood me.
Got it. So it's not a thing of like offense for you. It's just a good reminder.
For Aaliyah?
No, for like when you hear different artists sampling her or mentioning her name.
It's more of a, she's talking to me. Like, I don't even hear the song, I just hear the Aaliyah part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if it's a song that her and I used to enjoy, it might come on. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I already know how impactful Aliyah is. It ain't no was. She's still present now. I know what she would have done if she was here. The whole world would be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, that's the only thing. That's the thing. It's like, what would the world have been like if she had not got on that plane? If she would have, that's the one time I should have really been an asshole because I told her don't get on that plane.
Yeah.
You can bring me a light?
And what do you think needs to happen for the music industry to be a safer place for young women specifically, young Black women specifically?
I mean, that's a deep question because a lot of what music is, you know, expression of unrecognized trauma, you know, and our programming of survival is for us to hurt each other. You know what I mean? Not to love each other, to look the other way from our oppressor, but to like hurt the people we love the most. It's a good strategy if you're on the other side. So music will get better when people get better. You know, music will be safer when people are safer. When people can recognize their trauma and deal with it and not, you know, overcompensate and, you know, project on people because you're internalizing things that you can't, you know, change, or you can't get to the people that are really oppressing you. The people you love are usually the ones that catch that wrath because those are the only ones that'll listen.
Right.
So, again, if you can figure out how to heal people, then the world will be a safer place. If everyone wasn't always in survival mode, you know, then you could understand that the real reason to be on this planet is to love others, you know?
Yeah.
So hurting someone would be like hurting yourself, and understanding the karmic repercussions that come with that.
Right. That makes sense. That's really beautiful to hear because I feel like, kind of like what you were saying, that she was right on the cusp of something different and new, and we got to see a little bit of it, but we literally don't know where she will be or how she will be or what she will be about, and sometimes it feels a little...
She was doing the Matrix next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she was changing her whole direction with her music. She was really broadening her horizons with that music. We were having a lot of fun just being experimental with music, just as people that love music.
Right.
You know, it might be one outside. We're going outside a little bit.
And I think I just have a couple more questions, but something I'm really curious to know is, what do you think people typically get wrong, specifically media people, when talking about Aliyah?
I don't really focus on the wrong, you know? I only focus on the good, the light. I don't hear nothing negative about Aliyah. It doesn't even process because there was nothing negative about her. You know what I mean? You know, I wasn't so much into, I wasn't like, as in music, I liked her music, but it wasn't like, I was a fan of her as a person more than a fan of who she was as a celebrity. You know what I mean? And how other people received her. I honestly didn't know that she was that famous until she passed. I really didn't. You know, I knew she was hot, but I didn't know how loved she was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got it. That makes sense. And are you still in touch with anyone like Padata or like that whole crew?
I wish. I miss Padata. You know, she got low like Kaiser Sose. Nobody sees Kadata. You got sightings of Kadata. You know what I mean? But she was a really ill friend and one that I miss. I don't even remember. I know we didn't have a problem with each other, but I think after Aliyah passed, it was just too much. But I do miss her. I wish she would come back outside. Kadata, where you at? I miss you, you know? But like everyone else, we kind of, you know, we see each other. But, you know, it's funny because you go through these phases and these chapters in your lives, you know, like when you don't have a significant other and you don't have kids, you know, you're still young. So it was like, yeah, that period of my life was fun for that period. Like, you know, and then everyone went and got married and, you know, and I went and got so it's like, you know what I mean? It's a time that you don't regret that it's not happening, but you still miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like remembering high school.
For sure. Sweet. And I just want to ask a couple like basic questions so I get it right in the story. Can you tell me where you live and how old you are?
Well, now I live in LA and I'm 50.
Beautiful. So yeah, what you just said is similar to what a lot of folks have said recently that I've spoken to. I spoke to her stylist and Eric, one of the producers from the album. And a lot of people, you know, don't really keep tabs on new Aaliyah stuff, and people have lost touch because it was such a traumatic experience. So
yeah, it was that traumatic. You know what I'm saying? It was like the Aliyah, because you know she was such a tasteful person that everyone that was around her basically had taste. So they give out. There's like a heavy respect for the way the family wants to deal with things. It's, you know.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, I think those are all my questions. Is it cool for me to send you a link to the story when it's all set in August?
Yeah, please do.
Beautiful. And would you want like a print copy, or maybe I can send a print copy with Biba when she comes down?
Whatever you want to give me, I would appreciate.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll be in touch. Thank you so much for your clarity and honesty. I appreciate it, and I think this is going to be a gorgeous story. So I can't wait to share it with you.
Thank you for interviewing me.
For sure. All right.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.